like butter, episode 254. Danny Harvey. Look at those transitions, eh? Beautiful stuff.
Good. Good, buddy. How you doing?
Not bad. Episode 254, sponsored by our good friends at Mr. Donaire, mrdonaire.ca. Every event representing sponsor for the year. Thanks for all your help.
Hell yeah. Cool, man. Here we are again. FLA 19.
Yes. Sorry, folks. We're running a little bit late. Our apologies. How's everyone doing? Tell us all in the comments.
Yeah, there you go. Jump in those comments.
Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, buddy. Well, nice to see some sun today. We're getting ready to hit the road tomorrow and set everything up and run weigh-ins. Just as, we've done, I don't know how many times now at the Coliseum.
It's 10.
This is 10th time at the Coliseum, is it? It's got to be close.
Well, let's think. 2, 8, 2, 7, 8, 12, 13, 17, 18, 19, 8. All right.
I don't know, man. I didn't look it up. This is why I put all this stuff on the website. I don't have the memory of an elephant over here. Yeah, cool. Anyway, tickets. I guess tickets. We have floors gone, tables and floor. Generals left, of course, and then walk-ups. Cash walk-ups will be available, just as always for general. So if you're planning to come out and get a night out at the Coliseum, catch some action. That's obviously what's going on this weekend. But man, let's get into this lineup. Like this is, another killer show. It's great seeing guys develop, move up through the ranks, go from amateur to pro, go from amateur debut to amateur title fights, and we've got some debuts as well. But a lot of names people are going to be familiar with, and some exciting stuff. And it's nice to see local matchups. You know what I mean? We've got a few local guys, especially in the pros, that are fighting each other. Where oftentimes we're bringing guys in from other provinces or other countries. So
it's literally, boys, for anybody on the local scene, if you're not fighting local people, that's the sustainable approach to this business. If you think this business can consistently survive on us flying people in from across the world to you to fight, it is impossible. You have to fight each other. It's the way it goes.
Yeah. And that's the regional scene, man.
100%.
You fight to the top of the regional scene, then you move on from there. It's generally how that goes. And awesome.
You got to earn your way here, buddy.
That's right, you do.
Doing a great job, Corey. Yeah, man. First fight of the night. Let's get into her, Johnny boy. First fight of the night, we got 2 debuts. Cameron Wall out of Renzo Gracie PEI, stepping up against Miramichi MXT, Miramichi MMA, kind of both clubs. Noel Williamson.
Yeah, a couple big guys too. 180-pound amateur. Catchweight bout, 2 debuts, like you said. It should be a great fight to start off the card. We always try to start off with a fight that's gonna get the crowd going and get things off on the right foot. These guys look like they've been training hard with their respective teams, and they've got some good coaching and training partners working with them. So yeah, I don't know much about these guys' skill set, but I'm excited to see how it all plays out, man.
Man, really, Jason? Really?
Dude.
I've heard a few people talking about this. We're gonna move on. We're not gonna talk about it all. Back to this.
It was an anomaly, unless someone drives a van into the same friggin' power pole.
Yeah, kind of a crazy situation. Like you said, John, this fight, man, Renzo Gracie, both of these, like I know Noel, he's got a karate background, a little bit of a judo background, been competing in jiu-jitsu quite a bit the last couple of years, and Cameron, obviously, if he's coming from Renzo Gracie, he's going to be prepared. He's going to look.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know anything about Cameron at all, and I really don't know a ton about Noel. So I'm pretty excited to see this match again. Two new guys. That's the whole point of this promotion, right? Develop new talent, and I would have to say we're probably the best promotion in the country at doing this, promote like brand new talent into the amateur scene, developing through amateur and into the pro ranks and pushing them forward. And that's the whole point of what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we're the showcase for all these young guys and ladies that want to compete in mixed martial arts, man. I mean, it sounds like these guys are doing everything right. Like, obviously they've aligned themselves with good teams, and like you said, Noel competing in jiu-jitsu and everything else. That's what I always tell my fighters or my students as well, if they're interested in fighting. Like, go do a bunch of jiu-jitsu tournaments. Just, be on the mat. You're not going to be in there right away. Like, this is mixed martial arts. There's a lot going on. Go get that competition experience in. In other places, and then usually it's a couple of years before they're ready for MMA.
100%. That's the thing. Like, going back to even all those jiu-jitsu shows back in the day, Johnny, people would be like, how do I get on? It's like, go win at a local tournament. Go destroy your bracket at a local tournament. Like, any of these athletes should be competing for sure. Amateur boxing, amateur jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling, whatever they can, get out there.
Absolutely.
It's awesome to see, man. And our scene's really blowing up where there's a lot of opportunities for all these athletes, which is the whole point of this. So It's awesome, man. I don't know who's going to take this one. I have no idea, but I expect it to be a firefight to start the night for sure.
Yeah, man. Wish these guys a fun, safe fight.
Yeah. On to the next one. Your boy, the Valley Mouthpiece, against Brady Rushton.
Man, what can I say? Jake's fired up on a whole other level. You know what he's like. He likes to talk, but he does back it up, man. And Brady's got to be. I mean, I try to stay completely unbiased in these situations, but he's definitely one of the most disrespectful young men I've ever seen or come across. And it's kind of awesome that these guys get to fight on Saturday and really back it up. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, Brady managed to eke out a win last time by the skin of his teeth, and Jake kind of same thing with his fight. So they get to put on the line. This is going to be an exciting fight. There's no secret that these guys aren't best friends, and I just hope they back. I hope what goes down on Saturday is a good, exciting fight, and no shenanigans or any bullshit happens. And yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, what do you think, Derek? I'm
It's funny.
In the middle of this one, man. So I feel
I'm
like
kind of surprised to hear you say about Brady Rushton being the most disrespect. Like, I'm kind of surprised to hear that. Like, obviously you're on the other side, but like in my experience with Brady, he's been.
Look, he's fantastic to work with. He gets his medicals and all that done. But the things this kid says is so disrespectful to people. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. See, and I don't pay attention to a lot of that kind of stuff, and I'm not I'm trying to stay away from any of this shit. But I can tell you, like, that's what the whole point of this is. It's like exactly what Ben Ronan's here. Put up or shut up. And Jake's going to go in there and Jake's going to do his thing, and Brady's going to go in here and do his thing. I don't know what's going to happen because we didn't see a ton of striking out of Jake until like the third round. Obviously, it's first fight, so he got a little more comfortable as the fight went along. So I'm interested to see what Jake does going into this fight.
Yeah. Well, when someone just dives on your legs the whole fight, it's hard to strike, right? You can't hit on the ground.
Well, you gotta defend it, and you should be on top. There's a lot of it's not everybody in fights. It's, as we both know, it can go either way. So, and Brady, like Jake, should have the size advantage too. So, it's Brady. His striking, he looked pretty good against Hunter. I will say,
he landed some shots. He did.
Yeah, and then like you said, like obviously the shitty controversy that everybody knows about, whether it was or it wasn't. I'm done talking about it, but I can't wait to see this fight, and I can't wait to see someone put up or shut up, like everybody said. So it's going to be a fun fight for the fans, and that's what you want. You want a little controversy, and you want these guys to have something, a little chip on their shoulder. And Brady called Jake out, and kudos for Jake. There's first kudos of the day.
Jake called him out too, I think. Okay, kudos.
good for Jake for stepping up. There's a guy who, you know, like who hasn't fought before. He jumped in the last event, did really great at FLA 17, and he's a great kid. And I'm excited to see them both get in there and have fun, man.
Yeah, man. I hope they have a good fight. You know, like I said, I hope there's no shenanigans, no weird stoppage or
No dick kicks.
anything else. Let's get a proper scrap going. And, you know, if Brady's willing to stand with Jake, Jake will stand. If Brady starts diving on his legs, we'll have to deal with that. So
that's it. Martial arts, baby.
Yeah.
Fun out there, boys. Next fight.
Yeah. Charles Gallagher and Nathaniel Moriarty. So, I mean, I'm excited for this one. I mean, Charles has had, you know, 3 fights already. It's at 170, so they're bigger, they hit harder. And Nathaniel, I think, is the real deal too, man. I really liked it when he was on. I can't remember what show he was on, a couple cards ago. Great kid to work with, you know, super respectful. You know, he has kind of like an aura about him. Like he's a real character. And but I think, you know, he's like a legitimate martial artist, and had a great showing last time, even though he came off with a loss. And I think him and Charles are going to put on a great fight, man. I think it's a good matchup, and I think both these guys feel like they have something proven there, and are going to go for it, right?
Well said, dude. Well said. Exactly. Nathaniel, wonderful guy. FLA 16, he lost that split decision to, I think it was a split, to Lucas Hammond. And I have a feeling it could be a similar kind of fight, honestly, with Charles. Like, you know, Charles is a good grappler, and he's been competing a ton out west, representing Dark Horse Martial Arts in Canmore, Alberta, finishing up his camp in Evolution here in Fredericton, originally from Fredericton. And that promo video with Nathaniel was awesome, man. I want to take us back to a simpler time with blood, and I'm like, oh fuck, all right, awesome.
Yeah, man, the kid's he's awesome, man.
Yeah, beard versus stash. That's right, Corey. Yeah, and good shout out to Corey Morrill in the back scene there. You know, helping put some matches together. Good job, Corey, taking over something for the amateurs. So good job, dude.
Fantastic.
Yeah, great fight, man. Like you said, I have no idea what's going to happen in this one, John, at all. And
yeah, you know, a lot of these fights, it's hard to pick a favorite. You know what I mean? They're very well matched up, in my opinion. You know, as far as being even matches, and you know that's going to make for better fights, right? Nothing worse than a blowout, or you know, someone just is in a whole other league. You know, we've said that from day one. We don't want any, you know, like cans in there, like you know, the term.
Fights.
Everyone, yeah, we want good fights, and you know, I mean, we get guys reaching out on the website that are training themselves, and you know, they're gonna rock the world. They've never trained a day in their life, and they're not part of a gym. It's not interested. You know, go to a gym when your, you know, legitimate coach tells us that you've been training for a long time and you're ready for an actual fight, then we'll take you seriously.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Good joke. Let her have it, Bruce. Third fight of the night. Give her. Next fight.
Yeah, it's going to be killer. So fight number 4, I think this is going to be a fantastic fight as well. Justin Taylor, who, you know, a lot of you guys probably remember, spent a lot of time at Tower 1. He's boxing in Bridgewater now. He spent some time with us at Abaya. So I've seen Justin train. You know, I've seen how hard he works and how he's got basically like an unlimited gas tank. He's someone that can take the fight everywhere. You know, he's obviously been working a lot on his boxing the last little while in Bridgewater. But he's well-rounded. You know, he can grapple, he can wall fight. He's an MMA fighter, no question. And he's going to take on newcomer Bobby Brogan, who's, as far as we know, pretty much a straight boxer. That's where his experience lies. But I mean, there's no way that Bobby's taking a fight in MMA without doing any grappling. That would just be silly. Like, we've seen that play out. Anytime that's ever played out in the history of mixed martial arts, the boxer's pretty quickly on their back and tapping. So, you know, I'm sure he's been training, working, you know, the whole game. And I mean, he looks like he's coming in shape, you know, and 170's up a weight class for Justin. So, yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. But this one, I think, is going to be an absolute banger, and it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, no question. Both of these guys, if you look at their style, both of them come straight forward all the time.
Yes, yeah.
Justin, like you said, he's fighting it up a weight class, but he's only had 2 amateur fights, and one of them's been at 170, and the other's been at 155. And people might not know it, but his first fight was against Cam Nelson, and did pretty well in his first amateur fight. So he's not a slouch by any means, and he put it on Joey St. John with a great performance. Joey did great surviving, but like, man, Justin had a great fight, and man, Bobby will have a little bit of a reach advantage, a couple 3 or 4 inch height advantage too. But if you watch any of his boxing fights, man, he hits hard and he comes straight forward. So I'm really interested. This is, in Justin, like, he's as game as hell. So this could very well be the fight of the night, man. You just never know what's going to happen, or it could be completely one-sided. Who really knows? But I'm very excited for this fight.
Yeah, I think you're right. This could be fight of the night, and yeah, both guys are tough as hell and like to go forward and really fight. So that's going to be an exciting one.
Very much so. Yeah.
All right. Going down a few weight classes here at a 140 catch weight. Tanner Chazon, who's 0-1 right now. He's going to take on Matt Swan, who's 1-0. About time we see Sugar Swan back in there. I mean, this guy's super tall for the weight class. As we know, he's going to have a lot of reach. Training up at Evolution with a great team and great coaching. And Tanner coming in, he's 0-1, but again, another kid that, has a lot of talent and getting the win isn't, coming up with, if you're 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, it doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad fighter. You know what I mean? Like, some of these fights are so close and it's mixed martial arts. So it's almost a game of who can be more perfect a lot of times. So I'm sure he feels like he's got something to prove. And, he's just going to come in hard against Matt Swan, whose game is hell and tough. And like we said, he's got some physical attributes that really lend well to the weight class.
Yeah, he's a tall glass of milk, man. Big time for this division, 104. But Tanner's tall too. I don't know. I don't think Tanner's 6 feet, but he's definitely 5'10", something like that. So he's not, it should be both of them are pretty lanky, and I'm interested to see what happens, because obviously last fight Tanner, he struggled with the ground game. He got taken down in every round. He's really committed himself to grappling, he said, since his last fight. He's got obviously Morgan's fighting on the card, so they're coming in heavy out of that gym. Boys card. But Matt, he's got that grappling in his back pocket, and Evolution's a phenomenal gym too. So another just great fight too. Like, that was really well said about the 0-3 thing, John, because it's true, man. It doesn't matter. Like at amateur MMA, like especially in amateur, like, get out there, get those rounds, get that experience, and get your wins, get your losses, and then move into pro.
Get that experience, right?
Yeah,
and it's a good point you mentioned. He's over there training with Morgan and Big Red as well. Tanner is. Matt's up there with Ben and Rory getting ready. So both guys are coming out of camps with other fighters on this card. I know from personal experience, when you've got a few guys at the gym that are all fighting on the same. He's 5'11". Damn.
I feel close. Yeah.
What a crazy matchup, eh? You guys, 140 pounds, 6 foot and 5'11". Like,
yeah.
But yeah, when you're part of a team and there's several of you training for the same fight card, right? It just brings that camp to a whole other level, and it's a huge advantage. So I have no question these guys are going to be super well prepared and ready to go, and just cardio and everything else is going to be
well. In the last fight, Tanner didn't have Morgan in his corner. Morgan was fighting out west at the same time, so he really didn't have the same kind of camp in any way, shape, or form as he would have had for this card. So I'm excited to see him in there. Wonderful kid, very respectful. Both these kids behind the scenes, nice kids, and it's awesome to see, man. 2 young guys putting it on the line and just doing what they love. So may the best.
Yeah. Exactly. Awesome. All right, man. We're getting into this could be a main event right here. Chris O'Toole's coming back. I mean, this guy just blows through everybody. He's 3-0. I don't know what his total cage time is, minute and a half or something, maybe. But he's an absolute beast. He fought he was supposed to fight at 185 last time. Both guys didn't make weight. Chris got close, but not quite. Going back up to 205 for the advanced amateur title. And, I don't know who else is on the local scene that could even fight Chris. So, Titarenko's coming out from Calgary. He's 6-1, obviously super confident with that kind of a record. He's flying across the country to take on O'Toole. I have no question. He's looked up 68 seconds. Yeah, shit.
Man,
So
that's top stats guy.
yeah, right. There you go. But Titarenko's coming over here to fight Chris. He's obviously looked into who he is, watched his highlights, and said, "Yeah, I'll fight this guy." So, David, he's an absolute stud. And this fight's going to be, who knows, man. I mean, I'm sure Chris is going to come out 100 miles an hour like he always does and try to finish the fight in 5 seconds. And David's going to have to. He's going to have to do something. He's going to have to do something quick, and he's going to have to do something serious, to avoid getting smoked, basically. And he's going to try to do the same thing to Chris, I suspect. So
yeah,
it's going to be crazy, man.
Hunter Lee. So Chris is a super high level wrestler. Almost an Olympic athlete at one point, and Hunter Lee, who is also another very highly decorated Canadian athlete who fights. He's a pro athlete. He's from out in Alberta. Him and Chris know each other a little bit, and he made a post on this fight. And he's like, "This is easily the highest level amateur fight ever in Canada, or highest amateur fight in Canada right now, or something like that." And he obviously is training out there, and he knows both of these guys. And when you hear it from people like that of how high level this kind of a fight is, we've never seen Chris really be tested in any way, shape, or form. So this is really a kind of a big step. Like if he does the same thing to David again, then it's like, okay, like
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's David's 8th amateur fight. I mean, he's seen it all at this point. You would think.
No slouches either. He's taken some tough fights. His only loss is Evan Seguin out of the Shade Bears and Tanner Bozer's club. He's not a slouch by any means. And he was like the post we put up. We're looking for a guy for Chris. He was the first guy and one of the only guys looking. There was 1 or 2 other guys, but he was the first guy in zero hesitation. So thanks to Vince as well, his coach, for Vince and Anton. Big help for putting this fight together and all the logistics. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's man, it's gonna be a barn burner.
Everyone's
gonna have their breath held for that one, I think.
It's like you said, John, could be easily the main event or a pro fight. And back in the day, like we've had amateur title fights as main events before, and this is a super high level fight. So I can't wait, and I expect a big crowd out of Chris's crew as always, and
yeah.
See what happens. May the best man win.
I think it's got to be one of the most anticipated fights in the country right now. I mean, both these guys are going to go pro, I'm assuming, after this fight or one more, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's just super high level, even outside the cage, like you mentioned, Chris and his wrestling pedigree, and obviously the hands on him.
Which we haven't seen. We haven't seen him do any wrestling at all.
Yeah.
So.
No, man, he relies on his boxing, and he's got 1 submission win too. So
I'm pumped. I'm pumped for this fight. Both these kids. David's got some great wrestling too, and great hands, and just like he's not scared. He's here. He's looking for a fight, and he's gonna. I've talked to him. He's like, I'm gonna take it to Chris and put it on him. So
hell yeah,
phenomenal, man. Great for the fans. That's what you want to see, the evolution, and move forward in the movement. It's awesome.
And these guys got it right, man. Fight the toughest guy, and then move on.
Yeah, you got her. Otherwise, you're gonna end up with and people can say I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Maybe I don't. I don't know. But when you've been doing this long for almost 15 years, and you see athletes, get to be a pro, and Christian's a great example. Christian Salval went there in the Contender Series. Who did he get matched up against? An NCAA wrestler. Phenomenal athlete. There's no easy fights when you get to that level, so you got to be
yeah, that's just it. The guys that are moving up are the best guys from everywhere. So there's no such thing as an easy fight. Exactly.
No. All right, next fight.
Hell yeah. Moving on to the pros. Couple Maritimers here. Liam Campbell, sprawler ball from Cape Breton. We're familiar with Liam. He's been around the scene for forever. Very talented guy. I think he's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu now. Has a few amateur fights, and he's just been fighting on the scene forever. I mean, Obviously, we saw he came in and lost to O'Toole's last fight. Decided to move up to pro, where he should be, really. I mean, with his skill set, there's no question. But he's going to fight Matt McDonald, who, in my opinion, is one of the most dynamic guys we have on the roster. I mean, Matt throws everything: elbows, knees, kicks, punches. He can grapple. He can wrestle.
Great personality.
Great personality. Great guy to work with. And you know, this is his fourth pro fight. You know, Matt's had a ton of experience at this point. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, is someone, you know, going to get finished in this fight? Does Matt have finishing power? Does Liam have, you know, an extra chip on his shoulder from how his last fight went? You know, I feel like he did. He came out of that one, you know, thankfully fairly unscathed. It was a submission loss, so no long recovery before he got back in the gym. And you know, to see him back again so soon just shows you that he's, you know, he's rare to go. And both these guys, I feel like, have, you know, have something to prove in this one, man. Like,
No question. This is personal I think I shouldn't say it's personal, but like Liam's made some crazy drastic life change and you couldn't be prouder of the guy. That's what you want to see in life. Like, man, like we all go through ups and downs and shitty times and you see somebody come out the other end and getting back in the cage and really a big part of that sprawler brawl team and a leader. He's a leader. I remember watching Liam compete like in our early jiu-jitsu tournaments. You probably the same as at Abaya Open. Like Liam's been competing forever and he had like, man, I will say, like in that Chris O'Toole fight, he almost had like, you know, he was in deep on that shot a little bit. Obviously, Chris' experience, but Liam's a gamer, man. He's not quitting, and I'm pumped. I'm really excited to see him back in there against Matt. Like everything you said about Matt is perfect. Like it's a wonder.
yeah,
I want to see if he can finish the fight. You know, he's taken his first two pro fights, John Moore and Drake Farrell, not easy fights, and
oh
then
my God, yeah.
now he's taken Liam Campbell, and we'll see, man. We'll see. Like his grappling, you know, he had Rob down a couple times. He had him hurt, but he didn't finish the fight. And I don't know if he wanted to finish the fight. I don't know what happened there, but
Man, Rob's tough as hell too,
no
man.
question,
Like,
no question.
yeah,
But you know, like he let him back up a couple times, like you know. So it's like you know, he's very dynamic in a lot of ways, and I'd like to see him go for a finish if he has people in that
yeah.
position. So
No, I really liked some of the combos he was throwing in that fight against Rob. He was mixing it up, just, you know, basically threw the kitchen sink at him, and you know, unfortunately couldn't get the finish, but
man,
dominant win. Like there was
Rob
no
is
question.
Yeah, he's tough as nails and durable. And you know, Rob is how old? Like Rob's like my age, I think, like 40 some years old, man. And if people
Yeah,
have
he's
known
got to be 40 at least.
when you're 40 some years old getting in there and doing that, and Rob had a really great career. Like he like a fun career. He started FLA 1 for us, and so to
Yeah,
get there and do that, and he's passionate as fuck, man. Like you see him every day out there helping new guys, whatever. So good on you, Rob. Keep it up, man. And you know, just keep your chin up, buddy, and we'll see what happens in the future. So anyway, back to Matt and Liam. Great fight and great fight for the fans. Either way, two local guys, like you said, Johnny.
yeah, two local. When we say local, we mean the Maritimes, Atlantic Canada.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, two guys getting in there representing their respective provinces, their islands.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
versus PEI, and it's gonna be just gonna be an awesome one. You know, a couple
Yeah,
of really talented guys, real skilled guys. You're gonna see the difference once we hit the pro card.
yeah, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, fight number 8. This one we've been waiting for a while, man. Like Ben called out Jake few cards ago after his last amateur win, which was a awesome fight, by the way. Him and Hayden was one of the best fights we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Those two put on a wicked show, a lot of back and forth. And it was, you know, Ben coming back off his loss to O'Toole, and then coming in and having that kind of a show. I mean, I remember we were talking about this, like, let's see what kind of Ben shows up right after a loss like that. How do you come back? Well, he responded in the best way possible. Like,
Very
you know,
much.
like an absolute stud. But Jake has been on a tear, and there's another guy, man. I remember Jake was fighting when I was fighting, and that was 100 years ago. So he's got a couple quick finishes in his last couple fights. He's not super active as we're all aware. He's, you know, he's got his work and everything as well. So he fights when he can. Just kind of, you know, plugging along through his career. But I mean, he's still a young guy. And then
29.
Ben,
Yeah, 29.
yeah, which is crazy for how long he's been in the scene. And he's only 29. 1-0 as a pro. Ben turning pro now, gets to utilize the whole tool set, right? He can start throwing elbows and knees to the head and everything else. And I know these guys have both had great camps. I see them online. They both look like they're in really good shape. Ben's been spending a ton of time with O'Toole, which is awesome to see. These guys were former foes, and now they're training partners working together to help each other raise to the top of that weight class. So I think we're going to see a new Ben, or a Ben on another level, in my opinion. And I think Jake's going to just be super powerful and always super dangerous and skilled, as always. I mean, there's no way Jake's not taking this seriously. Ben called him out. He's got
The thing about Jake, man, is like, I
respond.
think Jake doesn't do things in a normal manner. Like, obviously, Jake's got it, like you say, he's got a career and he's pretty heavily involved in that, and that's his focus. Like, it's like he's which is smart, man. Like, fighting's great, but like to have a career and something you can really rely on that gets you through the life is pretty important. So he's been wanting to do that forever, and good for him, man. My question is, I don't because Jake's not a guy who puts stuff online. So it's
No.
like, but you see a picture he posted the other day. He looks in phenomenal shape. He's always working out. He's always in shape, and I think he just has to hit you once, man.
I think that's right. He's
Like,
huge mitts on him, tons of power, and
just
he's in shape. Like a lot of. I mean, you can have all the skills in the world, but if your fitness level isn't where it needs to be, you're dead. You might as well be a pylon. And that's the thing I see a lot, especially in my guys. They have their first fight, whether it's boxing or MMA or whatever, and after that fight, they go, "Holy shit! Like, I got to level up." And then the second fight is a whole other level of fitness and conditioning and skills. Like getting that first one out of the way really kind of, you can tell somebody 1,000 times, like you got to, more cardio, more conditioning, more conditioning. But until they really, feel what it's like in there and have that first fight, you don't know.
Yeah. And I can't really give you opinions on that because I have never fought, so I can't.
Yeah.
Really what that feels like, but yeah, it's man, like you said, Ben, like super, like huge improvements coming back from that O'Toole to Hayden fight. Hayden as well lost to Rory Gillis, came back, fought Ben, and same team. What a fight! And like I think you're spot on. Like Ben's just continuing to evolve and get better and better and better. I think the key to this fight for him is the body work, putting it on Jake and pushing the pace. Can he get out of that first round? Jake's never been pushed past like the first minute and a half.
Can he take a shot from Jake? That's the question. Jake's real danger is in his power, and we see him put one shot on guys, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Fabian, he dropped Fabian and finished him on the ground, and then the same thing with Rob. So yeah, man, I know one thing, I wouldn't want to get hit by him. So
No.
we'll see, man. May the best man win. And it's interesting because they're both from Fredericton. They're both competitors. There's no real ill will, and you're going to see these guys train together probably in the future. But this is a story of like Jake, as he was a kid, he's only 29. He wanted to be a double amateur champ, then a professional champ, broke his leg. Kind of, he was supposed to be your main event at FLA 2. Didn't happen. Broke his leg. And now Ben's kind of the young guy coming up from Fredericton. He wants to be the amateur champ. So it's literally the two guys on the same path, from the same city, with the same goals. So I'm
well, and originally we had this fight put together in Fredericton. Until we got railed by the venue and moved it to Moncton.
I'm gonna keep my comments about Fredericton to myself right now.
But yeah, anyway, it moved to Moncton. The fight's still happening. But two local, Fredericton superstars meeting in the cage.
The baddest man in Fredericton. The title. Brandon Brewer might have something to say about that.
Yeah, Brandon might, or Rory.
But
for real, very, very at the top of the food chain over there. And man, that's an exciting fight. I'm excited for this one. Fight number 9. This is a fight I'm surprised hasn't been getting more traction, man. We've got two of the most experienced guys in the country. They've had 15 fights each as professionals. Justin Bourgeois, obviously, I mean, he's a has a title over in France. He's been fighting on the local scene in Moncton, especially forever. You know, fighting with Elite One and all the shows back in the day. And then Morgan, the same thing. You know, he's fought all over the place. He's been on an absolute tear lately, where we haven't really seen much of Justin for a while. Morgan's been very active, and he's been stringing together. You know, coming off a great win, his last fight, an awesome showing. You know, his loss before that was to Chris Kalidas, the UFC veteran, in which he went to decision. Had another great showing. So I feel like Morgan's still improving every single fight, man. He's really starting to open up, and but Justin's super well rounded, man. He's got it all, and maybe he has a grappling advantage on Morgan in this one, but Morgan's said, his grappling's underrated, and the fact that he was able to, mitigate a lot of the wrestling in his fight against Chris, maybe shows you that, man. He's definitely a lot harder guy to deal with than you'd think, considering he's known as like a striker, right? So guys are dangerous everywhere.
It's what you do with the opportunities, in this kind of sport. Like if you go out there, especially as an athlete that's 15 pro fights, man, like there's a ton of experience there, and both of these guys have all the ability to continue to get better and just show different things that other people in the card might not with that experience. Like 30 pro fights between the two of them it's
crazy
that this fight never happened before, like with a or whatever. And that's the thing why you want these two guys. Well, they want to fight. They're both just two respectful OGs of the community, man, and guys that lead by example. And yeah, I'm excited to see them, man. And it's I don't know what's going to happen here. Like I think you spot on, man. Morgan, he's looked so good in his last couple of fights, especially in his last fight. He let his hands go and really.
Yeah, he's got some momentum behind him, right? And I mean, he's a bit younger than Justin, obviously. I don't know, man. But in the past, Justin's been the bigger fighter, fighting at featherweight. Now we're Morgan.
Morgan.
And in the lighter weight classes. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. If these guys have seen it all, so what's going to happen, right? Are they going to meet in the middle, or are they going to? I expect this is going to be more of a chess match, and I think it's going to really showcase some skilled martial artists.
No question. Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see them both back in there.
Yeah, me too.
Main event.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh man, this is an awesome fight too. I mean, Rory's obviously been on a tear since he turned pro. He's finishing guys off very quickly with his ground and pound. His strength lies in his power and his wrestling, I guess you would say. He's got the ability to put someone on their back, and then as soon as we saw him get into the advanced in the pro rules where he could ground and pound, that was the turning point, I feel like, for Rory. Once that handicap was removed with the novice rule set, he was really able to utilize his skill, which is putting guys on their back and then pounding them out with, because he's obviously got crazy power in his hands. Like the last fight we saw him hit, was it Michael, like once, and he kind of just rolled over and was done with it, right? He obviously cracks hard. We've seen what he did to Thomas Johnson Jr. with one punch. Unfortunate injury there, but like that's some serious freaking power, right? So
yeah.
And then Ryan Rohovich, this guy's game as hell. Awesome guy to work with, awesome team to work with. Coming back out again, he's just fighting everybody on the East Coast these days. Doesn't say no to anything.
He's like, line them up for me. I'll fight every single person. So like that's the people you want to work with. It's simple, it's a no-brainer. The guy's got how many fights? He's 6 and 7.
This would be his 14th pro fight. Rory's 3rd pro fight. Massive discrepancy in pro experience, but Rory's like, this is the challenge I need. Ryan's like, let him have it. He's going up to 180 for this fight to fight Rory at a higher weight class. So I'm assuming Ryan's just, going to have a bit of an easier weight cut. Probably, so maybe that'll help with his conditioning and how he feels if this goes past, the second round. And Rory, I mean, Rory's an athlete. There's no question. He's not going to get tired. He's going to be going for the finish. So, who knows, man? I think Ryan's experience might drag this into the later rounds, but can one of them get the finish in this fight? We'll see, man. It's experience versus like youth and athleticism, maybe. But
I think
Rohovich is a machine too.
I think both fights, Johnny. Correct me if I'm wrong. Rohovich came out. Both fights have been decisions, correct? Yeah, Pat
Mm,
and Dan, both decisions. So he's went the distance both, and he very well like. That's the thing,
yeah,
man. Experience. He's tricky. He's got a weird style on the ground. His distance management is kind of interesting. Like he's
yeah,
got a
and he
very
will throw some like I don't say weird comments, but he'll throw some shit out there that you don't expect and catch
yeah.
people, unsuspecting. So, like you said, you're right. He's got a bit of a weird style. He's got like he must be a karate background. Um, and yeah, he's just super diverse and
He's a great
super
grappler.
experienced.
That's the thing, and like Pat's a great grappler too, and Cam's a great grappler too. So he almost he had Cam in a deep choke at one
He
point.
did. He did.
Like,
Very deep. Yeah.
yeah, I can't remember the Pat fight too much, but I think it was like the same kind of thing. Like it was very back and forth, and there was a lot
Yeah.
of grappling in it too. So
There was a lot of back and forth in that fight, but I mean, Pat's a black belt. Ryan
yeah,
managed to survive any grappling, do his thing, get back up, landed his own shots, landed some good knees. He's again, he mixes it up. He's very diverse.
yeah,
So Rory's going to have to deal with, like a full toolbox of weapons going against Ryan. But like we said, he's explosive. He's powerful. It's crazy, man. It's going to be
well,
an awesome.
and that's the thing. Like that single leg of Rory's is if he gets in on that single leg, he's pretty successful at it. So I'm pumped. Another fucking awesome fight. Excuse my language, fans, but it's just a phenomenal fight for the fans and great for Rory stepping up against a guy with 13 pro fights. Rory's 32. He understands he's not getting any younger, and he needs to take opportunities right away and get them. And there you go. He might move to 2-0 or 3-0,
3-0.
sort of, and move forward in his career. And we'll see him later in this year in 2025. But yeah,
Yeah.
awesome to see these guys go at it. And Rohovich is already landed. He's already in Moncton, so that fight, barring no crazy shit, should be good to go.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been good. Everyone's been great at getting their paperwork and their medicals and all that done. And, we're moving forward with 10 fights, which is awesome. We didn't lose any fights the last couple of weeks, knock on wood. And, appreciate all the guys for training hard and getting their shit done. And we'll
Very
see
much.
everybody in Moncton tomorrow for weigh-ins. Like you said, as long as no shenanigans, we'll be moving forward with 10 fights. Everyone should be done getting hit at this point, so there shouldn't be any surprises.
Yeah, it's
And
true, man. Very well said.
hope everyone has a good, safe weight cut, and it's not too difficult. And yeah, man, we're gonna do it again. Weigh-ins at 3. Be live on our Instagram and post it up after. Anything else, buddy?
Yeah, they'll be live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as always, and then we'll be live Saturday night, folks. So as always, thanks to all of our sponsors. Let's see if I can bring this up actually really quick before we get out of here. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see if I can play a game here real quick. Sorry.
No worries. Tickets at FightLeeAtlantic.com. Pay-per-view at FightLeeAtlantic.com. Don't buy any of the
That's not
weird
right.
Facebook Fight League Atlantics that are popping up. If they have
Yeah,
seven followers, they're not us.
that's it. Yeah, thanks to all our valued sponsors. Obviously, a lot of these sponsors have been on behind us for a long, long time, and it's important to understand what we do here as a business, and they're just super supportive of young athletes trying to make a difference in their life and grow in the sport. So, thanks to all these sponsors very much. All right. Cool. Like you said, Johnny, yeah, avoid all those scams. So many, I see them coming back again. They were away for the last couple of events, but they seem like they're coming back.
Oh man, they never give up. Yeah, nothing better to do with their time. Try to rob somebody.
Yeah. The floor is sold out. The only tickets available now are general seating. Online, there's about 250 general seats left online, and then the remaining will be at the door, as always, walk-ups. So no large bags, no photography, all that kind of same stuff, and we'll see our fans on Saturday. Anything else, Johnny?
That's it, man. Safe travels for everybody, and it looks like the weather's going to be good. Shouldn't be any issues with travel, and yeah, wish all the fighters a easy and safe weight cut and a safe trip to up to Moncton for weigh-ins. Don't be late. The weigh-ins are at 3. The scales open at 1. If you need to check your weight, and then there's a sauna that'll be there at 11:30 if you need a little help with the weight cut. Yeah, plan accordingly. Don't be late, and we'll see everybody tomorrow afternoon.
Thanks to all our fans. We love you. See you soon.